Salve te omnes. Today we're going to learn about another type of subjunctive clause called a result clause. Please add this to your notes. So, before we start, I wanted to review the subjunctive clauses that we've already learned. First, purpose clause. Purpose clause, after the main action, it begins with ut or ne and expresses the purpose of that main action. An example would be, I went to the store to buy bread. Next up, we learned indirect commands. An indirect command begins with a verb of speaking, has ut or ne in the middle, and expresses a command with the subjunctive verb. So an example in English would be, I told my husband to go to the store. And then finally, we learned indirect questions. An indirect question, after the main action, begins with a question word and is a question that is reported or mentioned. So, an example would be, my husband asked me what kind of bread I wanted. Today, we're going to learn about result clauses. Result clauses, after the main action, begin with ut or ut non, and in the main clause, they're signaled by tom tantus tot adeo ita sic, and expresses the result of the previous action. So, an example would be, I wanted bread so badly that I went to the store. All right, so more about result clauses. So like I said before, it expresses the result of a previous action, and after the main action, it begins with ut, sometimes ne, but more usually ut non to express a negative result. So here's an example. Tanta erat multitudo ut totam urbem compleret, which means tanta, so great, erat multitudo, was the crowd, ut, that, urbem compleret, it filled the whole city. The fact that it filled the whole city was the direct result of the crowd being so great or so big. And you'll notice that ut here is translated as that. So, signaling words. These are the words that you need to memorize. So repeat after me. Tom tantus tot adeo ita sic. 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 I call these the so words because, as you notice, they're all translated with the word so. So for example, yo mama jokes use result clauses. Yo mama's so fat that her belt could go round the whole world. Oh, burn. All right, now result versus purpose clauses. How do you tell them apart? Here are some examples to show you. Here's my result clause. Livia, suum filium esse imperatorem adeo volebat, ut maritum suum occideret. So we'll notice my signaling word adeo from tom tantus tot adeo ita sic, and it translates as, Livia wanted her son to be emperor so much or so greatly that she killed her own husband. That was the result of her wanting her son to be emperor. And here's a purpose clause that's a little similar. Livia maritum suum occidit, ut filius suus esset imperator. You'll notice there's no signal word, tom tantus tot adeo ita sic, and it translates as, Livia killed her own husband so that her son could be emperor. So, the purpose of her killing her husband was so her son could be emperor. So, to repeat myself, whenever you're looking at a result clause or a purpose clause and you can't figure out which one it is, the most obvious way to tell them apart is looking for your signal words. Tom tantus tot adeo ita seek. And purpose clause will not have a signal word. All right, so as far as sequence of tenses, result clauses can use any of the 4 tenses of subjunctive. And when you're composing one, it's not strictly observed to follow the sequence of tenses that I've written here. Really just use whatever tense matches what you want to express. So the same thing goes for translating. I would definitely look and identify the tense of the subjunctive to make sure that you're translating it correctly. All right, so now we're going to do 3 sentences together as examples. So when you're doing these, look for the signaling word, look to see what tense the subjunctive verb is, and translate. So let's take a look at number 1. Rex Amulius erat tam scalestris, ut filium fratris interfecissent. So, here's my signal word from Tom tantus tot adeo ita seek. There's my ut, and then I see interfecissent. I see that it has ise in the middle, so I know that it is pluperfect subjunctive. So now, translating, it means Rex Amulius, King Amulius, was Tom Scalestris, was so wicked, ut that filium fratris interfecissent. I see that filium here is accusative, so I'm just going to translate this as that he had killed the son of his brother. So here we go, beautifully color-coded. King Amulius, there's my signal word, was so wicked, ut that he had killed his brother's son. Now let's take a look at number 2. My signal words are Tom tantus tot adeo ita seek. And here's adeo, meaning so much or so greatly. And then I see curimus is present tense. We've got ut in the middle. And then possimus, kind of like our regular verb sum. Sim, sis, sit, simisitissent. This is present tense. So now I translate. Curimus adeo, mus, we run, adeo, so much, ut, that, odie, today, non ambulare possimus, we cannot walk. So here it is. We run so much that we can't walk. And then let's look at our last example sentence. Dux tot milites amisit, ut hostes fugerant. So here's my signal word, tot, from Tom tantus tot adeo ita seek. And then ut, and then fugerant, I see it has ERI in the middle, so that's a perfect subjunctive. So let's translate. Dux, the leader, amisit, sent forth, tot milites, so many soldiers, ut, that, hostes fugerant, the enemies fled. All right. So what I'd like you guys to do now is there are 3 more sentences, and I'd like you to do those on your own and submit them for our homework. Good luck, guys. Bonam fortunam. Valeatis. May you be well.